And we're live.
Yay.
Ooh, yep. Sorry about that delay. I accidentally roped my roommate into a conversation about Jojo Rabbit, so got wrapped up over there for a bit. if you are not interested in seeing that movie, you should probably go see that movie because it's very good.
There's a dog trying to get attention over here.
Oh, look at Tony.
No,
Tony.
puppy.
Menace, man.
What do you say, Em?
I said I watched a preview for that and it looked good.
It's very good, especially if you like Taika's stuff. Like it's
which I do.
Yeah.
Wait, no, we're live. I'll ask you later if you've seen What We Do in the Shadows.
Of course I have. That's easy answer. Yes, of course I have.
Okay.
So last time around, you guys continued on your way through the abyss. There was a brief interlude of Marleman reading his book and learning more things about his astral dad, as well as gaining some new information overall about the people you trust and the people you know, potentially. You all then went on another shopping trip. Nyx did some fantastic bartering. As well as getting her prophecy read by an old tabaxi. And then after that, you all returned to the room where Phaedra was then, where there was a knock at the door, and the Lord of Whispers, Glazriel, the demon who is asking you all to help him in a coup, arrived via Phaedra summoning him, actually. Phaedra then departed, and we pick up upon her return. We did this off camera so that you guys didn't have to listen to us conversate between two people.
Yes, which is why I'm going to be looking at my phone when I tell you stuff that happened, because there was a lot of information that I wasn't able to write down very quickly. How much time has passed since I was out?
About an hour later, the door to the apartment reopens and Phaedra enters. Looking mighty pleased with herself.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi, Phaedra. Where have you been?
I've been off with our demon associate trying to get more information, like where he found out about the relics in the first place to see if we could gain anything else. Managed to get some decent stuff. Is everyone here?
Yeah. Yes, everyone is there.
Yeah. Okay. I got a lot to cover.
Super Smash Brothers
I was
Ultimate.
going to say, like
everyone
Smash Ultimate, everyone is here.
Okay.
Maureen, you're muted still.
Okay.
Okay.
So I asked him if he knew about the hunters. And he said that he didn't know, he wasn't familiar with them, but he did mention that they ascended to godhood.
Who?
The four,
Okay.
Yeah, the four hunters that were chasing after the primals ascended to godhood.
Wow.
Okay.
Sweet deal.
Which I guess makes sense because we saw those symbols that represented those different deities. We just assumed they were following them, but it's possible it
They just,
was
them.
them.
They ascended and then made their own brands.
Yes.
Smart.
And seems to have. But the thing that he said that it says scrubbed history of their presence. So I don't know if it's like different ones.
History of whose presence?
Their presence. Just that was all I got.
Presents like presents or presents like gifts?
Not gifts. Not gifts. Homonyms.
I don't know if you're talking about the swords or whatever, you know?
No, I don't mean specifically whom. I mean, are they, when you say they, or do you mean the primals or the hunters?
Oh.
The phrasing belies that he was talking about the hunters.
The hunters, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That was my question. I couldn't hear a certain bit of it, and that was what I got.
Right, okay.
He seems, the reason why he knows a lot of this, it seems like he's quite fascinated with the stories of the primals, and he's been like collecting information about them.
That's what they all say.
Maybe he's a primal.
He mentioned Ventus and Mac.
Oh?
Yeah. I asked him when was the most recent, because he said that they had been seen recently, which is not like super recently, like in time and generally, but because gods. He said Ventus was last seen 1,000 years ago in the former city of Glass, and Mac has been spotted throughout, most recently in the prime material plane, but he didn't give me a specific time frame. So I was trying to see if I could get anything else on that, but it doesn't seem like he has any concrete stuff. Sorry, there's a lot here.
Phaedra rolled incredibly well.
Yes, there's a lot. There's a lot of pages here. He's been studying them, like I said. He knows about you, Marleman, and how you're like a touched person who's been like given some powers by the primals. Because I asked him if he knew the identity of the person who had written the journal. Like I asked him if he knew of any people who had traveled with him. I wasn't able to get anything specific. He's heard about individuals being adopted by them and traveling with them. And then additionally, there's the people who are called the Touched, which are the ones chosen by primals to wield great power. You kind of guess that's what you were, Marlon. Yeah.
I don't think I wield great power. I think I wield whimsical power.
It can be both.
Nonetheless, I would say that would qualify myself, and then Neve would be another one.
Yes.
Heather quickly scrolling.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, it was.
I'm not asking. I'm telling.
No. He mentioned a person of legend who was able to use their power to become ethereal.
Oh no.
And this
that doesn't sound good at all.
No, that's
was this referring to Neve? Neve? Oh, no. Sorry.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah, okay, yeah, and based on what I could figure out, it seems like that he was referring to Neve. I forget what race she was.
She appeared elven, but almost unnaturally beautiful and very unfocused, I think is the best way to phrase it.
Okay. So yeah, so
Doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah.
She's a wielder of time. She's a little unstuck.
Yeah.
refresh my memory. When did we run into this person?
She's part of the
right.
Sealy Court.
I honestly forgot about that
Right.
part.
He wanted information on the prophecy. I didn't give him specifics. I kind of just wanted to know what he knew first. He was aware that there was at least one of them who had been found, which, if he knows that, presumably other people know that as well.
Have we found one of the people?
And yeah, that we found someone from the prophecy. He also said that apparently, remember, is it Ganassi or Genasi?
Ganassi.
The Ganassi we rescued from the Beholder has been going around the fire plane telling everyone about how we rescued him.
Word.
Number one in the fire.
I don't know
Number
if
one in
that's
the
a great
elemental
thing.
plane of fire.
Say that again, Trev.
I bet our comic books would sell really well there if they didn't burn up immediately.
Yes.
Magic paper.
Somebody is chiseling it into stone.
We got to localize it for fire.
Yeah.
The localization effort does not go well, Enterprise.
I told him we were going to vote tonight about his proposal and then we would talk to him tomorrow. And I think that was it for everything.
Sick.
Yeah, I think that was like the majority of it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I got from him.
Good work.
What did he get from you?
Oh,
And I'm not being gross. I mean, what did you tell him anything that we didn't want to know? We might not have wanted him to know.
I didn't give him names. I did when he asked about someone being found, I did say yes, we did, but I didn't say who. I didn't say where they were. But if he was
I played
already
a
aware
game
that
of
someone was
charades.
found, I mentioned that I said that we were kind of like dealing with some weird contracts and that we couldn't really give specifics about it due to the legal binding of it, which he bought, so that was good. I don't remember exactly how much I mentioned to him. I confirmed that we were the ones who did rescue the Ganassi.
Yeah, you didn't give
Yeah.
a lot of any other information I can think of.
I think I said I had on the back burner the GIF, the Gith Yankee stuff, and what was it? It was I had some stuff in case he needed like more information to barter with. I
Yeah,
also I
Mhm.
picked up a scroll of communication that he has the other half of. So if we need to send a message to him, it can work between the planes. It's just on a 2-hour delay. I figure if he's going to be the new head honcho, might not be the worst thing to.
Do you know how the
Keep
trigger on that
relation-
thing works?
Do I what?
Do you know how the trigger on that thing works?
I think I would have inspected. I would have inspected it, and like I was checking to make sure that it actually worked with the vendor. I didn't do like a. I did like an insight check. Oh, yeah. So yeah,
I just want to
Um,
make sure that we are aware that that thing needs to be like that only can be used to communicate to him willingly and isn't just going to tell him what we're up to at all times.
Yeah, according to the vendor, it is any sentence or a short sentence or short paragraph that is written upon the scroll will appear on the other scroll.
mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. It said
It's not quite a listening device.
Yeah, and I told him that due to our kind of plane shifting, jumping around due to time being weird, we don't know. I don't know how often I'd be able to message him, so I didn't tell him like I'd message him very soon. But if he, if we want to try and get more information, if he's a master of like secrets, figured that might be useful. He was already able to tell us a lot that we had no idea about, so if there's something maybe we're specifically looking for in the future, it might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, nice.
Plus, I'm not like compelled to answer it, so. Yeah. What?
I mean, I'm not an expert on these things, but I can read between the fucking lines as to what this fella's looking for. He just gave you his magical number.
Hey,
If it helps, he didn't offer. I did.
hey,
Oh,
you gave it to him.
get it, girl. All right, sure.
Yeah. I think that was part of my bargaining. I think was like trying to like rather than because I couldn't give him a lot of like information. I think I offered that as like a
Hell yeah.
incentive.
I don't think you're really supposed to do that, but that's all right.
Sounds like a conflict of interest or something.
I mean, whatever, dude. Like,
Whatever. We don't have an HR department in the problem solvers.
No,
yeah.
there's a lot
Good thing.
going on.
Good thing.
I figure,
I
Yes.
will reserve this, about 20-second block for the grumpiness that Sai will express in the future when he hears about this. But
I'm well aware. I know.
I texted him; he hasn't gotten back to me
doesn't
about
like
any direct response. So I'll let him
I
figure
doesn't
it out.
like many things.
It's fine. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. That was about as much as I could get, so
Just A plus
And
stuff.
that all sounds good.
yeah.
Sick.
I looked to see
Um,
if we could get more scrolls of writing or whatever they're called, but they only had the one, so I thought maybe we could pass them along to people if we needed them. Yeah. I wonder how the time dilation would work in like the Feywild.
We're gonna find out, I'm sure.
So with all that settled, and then Phaedra, I know you want to try and commune with Celestian, so
Yeah.
Um,
Oh right, I want to try to commune with Celestian. Is there any specific questions? I think because I'm trying to remember, make sure I have the right spell. Commune. Where are you? Commune. I believe that's the one with the 3 yes or no questions,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, was there anything that we wanted to ask him specifically? I posed this to the group to see if
Yes.
there's anything else that we want to try to learn.
Commune, 5th level divination.
Because we know Celestian is, according to the book, the child of one of the primals.
Yeah.
But like, have we ever met this person before?
This is not a person. This is a
Celestian is my deity.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you chatted before?
A couple of times, yeah.
Okay.
This allows like 3 yes or no questions specifically, I believe.
Yeah. That's why I was.
So that's the best we get.
Yeah. I mean, I can also do divination, which is a more like specific one. Like that. I think it's like a lower spell, but you only get the one, and I don't believe it's a yes or no. And it has to be about something in the next 7 days. I think there's more restrictions on it, I believe.
Yeah. For divination, your magic and an offering put you in contact with a god or a god's servant. You ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. The GM offers a truthful reply. The reply might be a short phrase, cryptic rhyme, or an omen.
Ooh.
So Heather, what do you want to ask?
I'm trying to figure out the best way to word. Are you a child of a primal?
Okay.
Politely, like to confirm that everything in the book is
Yeah. Have you taken a DNA test?
I don't remember. According to the text, supposedly Ventus is the parent of Celestian.
Okay.
Okay, so they're like, is Ventus your parent? I don't know what the.
Are
Are you a child of Ventus? I
Are
guess.
you descended from Ventus?
That's probably better because, like, if these things is like a child of Ventus could very well just be like a follower or something.
True. Are you descended from Ventus? Okay.
Descended or like related or something?
Descended from would be fine, probably.
So then, like, depending on the answer, do you have another question?
Well, we know that Mac and Ventus are the ones who've been spotted recently. We could ask if the other 2 are alive.
Okay. Was there anything we wanted to know about any of the relics still?
We know
That's relevant.
Where?
where they're yes or no questions, so we gotta.
Yeah, we would have to be very specific. Like, is X or Y relic on like our plane or something? It isn't even really a useful answer, but it is. Like, that's the only level of answer we can really get.
Supposedly, if these hunters who went after the primals, if they then ascended to godhood, and their symbols are the ones that we've already found, you know that one is Queen Bitch, and that's where the sword went. Would Titania have the other one? One of the other ones?
Always possible.
Is Titania one of the hunters? Do we know that?
Well, that was what we guessed based on the symbols left behind, because it was a
Right.
tree, a stone, a tower, and a diamond, which was Titania / Fey Gods, Ioun, Palor, and Queen Bitch. So we know that the sword Trev has, like, you got it from your
That is true.
previous, so yeah. It's possible Titania has one. I mean, I don't know any. We can ask if we go to the monastery. Maybe someone would know because they worship Ioun. Maybe Ioun has something like that.
I have another question, which is why do we care so much about this kind of stuff? Like, I know that Trev's sword is like potentially one of these things, but like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, are these things going to help us with our prophecy, or
Well, if
are they relevant to us?
I mean, if Marleman's trying to find Mac,
I I don't think it's particularly necessary, but I think that they may provide other clues to other things.
Mm,
They
I'm not.
seem valuable.
I think to go off of what Aramil is saying, how actionable would any of this information be right now?
Right.
Not.
Probably not, I guess.
No, we should move on.
That's kind of where I'm going, or where
Yes.
where I am with this. It's like we can file all this stuff away.
Yes,
as
this
stuff
is what we did.
definitely
Like at
needs
the
to
end
be-
of the last app was like we kind of found out all this information, and then it's like, all right, well, we've got it. Now we gotta wait.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
we know it, but we can't really do anything with it now, so we don't need to. We can expand on it, and maybe we'll have more
It's
context.
like, yeah, we can sit here and talk in circles about it, but it's not gonna do anything.
Should I wait to commune then? Because if it's not vital right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
especially if your questions need to be specific, waiting to get
Mhm.
more details will never hurt.
Right. Also, if we are like working with this demon guy, he may, especially if he's into Phaedra, like tell us some more about this. That then we can ask more specific questions later on. You know what I mean?
We'll get some information.
Did I
on it.
get the sense that there was much more he could tell me?
Yeah.
I mean, he is the Lord of Whispers for an entire realm of the Abyss. There's knowledge that he knows that goes back generations that he probably didn't share.
Okay.
While he was very forthcoming and seemingly honest with you,
Mhm.
there could always be more.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right.
Fair enough. My only concern is if this ends up, because he, I brought up the hunters and the primals, and then he asked about the prophecy. So I was trying to figure out if any part of this connected to
To the
that.
prophecy. Right.
Yeah, because remember, we had one version of it, and then there was a slightly different version of it. So I was gonna see if any of the stuff we found this time matched anything from either version of the prophecy.
I
Wait,
believe you have 3 versions
Or
now.
3?
Yeah.
Right.
but
you have-
demon guy knew that we were doing the prophecy? Is that a thing that we knew he knew?
I
Um,
don't think we did.
He told Phaedra that. Yeah.
I
That's
forget.
what
I
I'm
know,
saying.
but
Is that
don't like that.
strange? Like, I don't remember telling him about that.
Right. I think he just knows though. Like I think people just kind of
Yeah.
know about us at this point.
Mm,
Okay.
I'm still not super comfortable with the idea that is the part that's bothering me.
was any of that mentioned in the comics in Terselheim?
No, certainly not.
No, like I
They
feel
would
like
never have heard it. Nobody.
I
would
feel
have
like
heard
we
it.
don't.
Yeah, we don't talk about
We
that.
don't-
Yeah, that doesn't get out. That's the
No.
thing that's bothering me.
But that's why, I didn't give him any specifics about it, because if he already knows about it, then he's got either, an informant, whether in the Feywild or...
Yes, I will remind you that this is the second agent of the Abyss who has directly mentioned you guys working on this prophecy.
Who was the first one?
Valen, the
Oh, the Rakshasa.
Rakshasa.
Yeah. Yeah, Rakshasa guy also knew that. So, clearly, somehow they're...
That's the guy. Oh, right.
the guy who... Yeah.
That we murdered, right?
No.
Oh, no, the one who's
Not
back
yet.
in Jotunheim waiting for us to close the portal.
Not yet.
Right.
Yeah.
sounds-
Thanks, Trev.
I don't know. Trev wants to murder a lot of people, so
I
it's got-
just see things coming. Listen,
No, it's-
I don't trust him at all.
but yeah, I was wondering... That was my only concern.
Them are two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eh.
that was my concern with this, if it connected back to the prophecy in some capacity. But I can take a look at that while we're doing other stuff.
Just to accelerate this a bit and to kind of help with that path, Phaedra, why don't you roll just a general wisdom check?
Oh, I'm good at those. I'm a cleric.
All right.
I am.
Yeah, you are in fact a cleric.
Can't argue with that.
Shush. Okay, so +4. 19.
Okay. While there are some connections you can see and there are some things that might link backwards, there are no strong connections between what you're learning right now about the primals and the hunters and much to do with the prophecy.
Okay.
While they may have perhaps come to being around the same time.
Mhm.
The actual direct connections between the two are minimal.
Okay. All right.
Good.
Cool. All right. So then we can put this on the back burner for now. Then.
Cool.
Which leads to the next question, which is, what are you guys going to do about Glazrael's proposal?
Bro, you need to refresh me on what it is. There's been so much information.
So,
Close to overthrow.
yeah, it's been a bit,
It's
so
a coup.
I will remind
Like, I
everybody.
remember that, but I don't remember the
Yeah.
details.
So he wants your help destabilizing this plane of the abyss.
Okay.
He wants to be the head honcho.
Yeah.
He feels like he has gotten to the highest he could possibly go with Demogorgon still in the seat of power. And while he feels comfortable enough to take out the other members of the council, Demogorgon himself, he does not feel he is powerful enough alone or even with his amassed armies to take out. He doesn't want to align with any other member of the council because they're demons. They will backstab, they will cheat, they will lie. So they will just as easily align with him as they would align themselves with Demogorgon again to rat him out and then, take his position and his power and whatnot. So right now, this plane of the abyss is sitting on an uneasy. Truce is the wrong phrase, but pivoting stone, I guess. So you guys being a very powerful, as he constantly referred to, adventuring party that might have the capability to take on Demogorgon between the six of you, has asked you to use your Champions Challenge, which you have as champions of the arena, to pit yourselves against Demogorgon himself.
Right.
Draw him off his throne, draw him into the arena, kill him or weaken him or injure him or do whatever you have to do while Glazrael takes out the rest of the council.
We're biding time.
And then if you kill Demogorgon, great. If you don't, he didn't really come up with a great solution after that. But what he did promise was the ability for you guys to escape the Citadel, escape back across the plane and to the portal, to destroy the portal and get out safely.
Yeah.
Right.
In the chaos,
Okay.
because all the guards will be up in arms and in upheaval and everything will be going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fair enough.
Right. I think that's a decent plan, actually.
It's as good as we've got. Like,
Yeah.
and the idea that if we can just buy time, like that's enough or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
then we don't have to worry about being able to kill a fucking like Demon King, which
Mm-hmm.
even I would think might be a bit hard.
Yeah. Probably.
Demon Lord.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Demon dickhead, more like.
I
Oh.
mean,
Got him.
it seems like the best way we can approach this without having to be sneaky and getting out of here under, other means. We already know this area is weird when it comes to magic, so having somebody who can just let us out.
Yeah, that's big.
That's
Honestly, so the only place I've been able to plant my tree to get us out is in Balthazar's shop, and he peaced out when I mentioned that.
When you mentioned perhaps literally uprooting his store,
Yeah,
he was pretty sour on the idea.
yeah, he
Lame.
kind of left.
He wasn't thrilled at the very least.
Coward.
Yeah. Doesn't he trust me? I mean, come on.
just hoping he don't destroy his interdimensional shop, I suppose.
Yeah.
Actually, with all of this said, and with that exact phrase, hey Trev, make an intelligence roll for me.
Oh man.
Sorry, buddy.
I have to remember. It's the only modifier that I think I don't know offhand, which is appropriate. Hold on. Loading. Yeah. Oh, better than I thought.
All right, I have to be right back.
All
Yeah,
right.
go.
Yay.
That's a 10.
Okay. With all of this said, and with that exact phrasing kind of put out in the world, you think about it for a second and go, man, wouldn't it be interesting if this like weird tree thing that Armo wanted to grow would actually root a pocket dimension in place?
Huh.
Oh, Huh.
That's an interesting idea.
Well, that would be kind of mean.
So who cares?
Hey.
Wait,
Maybe save us.
wouldn't that mean that he would still be around somewhere?
As his shop certainly would be.
But he bamped out before you could do that.
Oh, he didn't. Arnold did not stick the tree in
I
the
didn't
ground.
plant the tree.
Right.
I see. Okay, yeah.
He shoved them out before he could.
He didn't want to get stuck here.
That's probably why he left.
Hmm.
Yeah, I guess.
Fair enough.
I mean, you know,
Well, I mean,
I mean,
of all the places for him to get stuck, it'd be appropriate, I guess.
I mean, I could if he could get here, and then we just went into his shop, and then he got us out. That might be a backup if stuff goes south.
oh, he doesn't care about us.
Yeah, there's that. And then
Yeah, there's that.
also beyond that,
Beyond
how would we do we have a means of reliably getting in touch with him? Would we have any reason to expect a response? And how much? Well, I have a lot. How much would we owe him if we were to have to do that?
Yeah, that's
Do we
for
want
sure.
to owe him anything? And the most important one, I probably should have led with this. Going south is kind of Plan A right now.
Right.
So hopefully we'll just be able to make this work.
Yeah, well, it helps to have a plan B just in case, you know.
Plan B is don't die.
When your plan A is everything's on fire, what can your plan B possibly be?
Yeah, so honestly, I don't trust this demon guy, but I just don't think we have any other option. Literally, I think we're trapped here if we don't try something.
Exactly. We just kind of got to play this game. It's not good.
I could message him with sending. There's just a 5% chance it doesn't work if he's not on the same plane of existence as me.
Hey, Vader, I need you to roll another wisdom check on that one.
Okay. Again, unless there's other magics here that are messing me up.
Is your wisdom going to tell her that Balthazar does not care about us?
17.
Just by a process of elimination, Balthazar is the one who sold you your Ring of Shrouds, the thing that allows you to not be scryed upon.
Does sending count as a scry, though?
Counts as a magical communication of some kind that requires knowing or at least communicating with a person on some level of material plane. It would block any incoming or outgoing magics that would reveal oneself. So while message would not immediately say to you, hey, this is where this person is, following a trail of magic somewhere, if something is a magic sniffer or has the ability to do so.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. I hadn't thought about it like that. All right. Because I didn't think it mattered location, because it's not like I was scrying on him, but okay.
Yes, it is still creating a magical link between two places,
I
which
see.
is kind of what the Ring of Shrouds prevents.
Gotcha.
And following the line of logic that, well, he sold you one, which means he probably has access to others, and he is a secretive guy.
Okay. Fair enough.
That is all.
Thank you.
All right, so why don't we bring our demon friend back and let him know what's going on?
Yeah, he'll be back tomorrow, right?
Yes.
The day before, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You guys have a day before any of us discussed again.
Okay.
Just sending Jay an update.
Jay's gonna say, "Fuck that! I don't want to do any of this."
Yeah, he doesn't want to work with a demon, I'm sure.
Psy might come to see reason. Who knows? It's up to you guys. But for now, you guys do get to rest. You get a full night's rest. So any spells, exhaustion points, Marleman, or anything else that you have to resolve themselves. Marleman, I will also say for the group, over the course of this week, Marleman did find a book within the library inside the room itself that had some spells he had never heard about before.
Yeah.
He did learn those and add them to his spell book.
Oh, sick.
Gary, can you just correct me if I'm wrong? Never, I'll just look it up. It's fine.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about them.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll see those at some point in time in the future.
Yeah.
Is there anything else anyone wants to do with this last nights of good night's sleep?
I want to talk to Nyx when
Okay.
we're all like going to bed.
Okay.
Let me check and see if I've actually done this.
I'm just grabbing something. So I wait for everyone to go to bed. Do we each have individual rooms? I forget in this place. Shared?
Yes, like there are a couple of individual rooms. There's about 3 of them attached to the main area.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you and Nyx were sharing one.
Okay. Hey. Can I talk to you about something real quick?
Sure. Is everything okay?
Well, I got one other piece of information from that guy, and it's a little awkward, and I don't know how to bring it up. And so, I wanted to talk to you about it first before talking to Marleman.
Okay.
He was going into detail about like these people who are either descended from or affected by the primals, and he mentioned that they usually have very short and violent lives. And I don't want yeah, I know, Morgan, you know.
I wish that I was just like not listening.
It's fine.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
You should take me out of the chat.
It's fine.
Put him in the back.
Yeah, I'll put you backstage for now. Morgan.
Backyard.
It's fine. I know, Morgan.
You can still hear if you're back.
I know you can still hear.
I can still hear.
It's fine.
Anyway.
Such is the way of D&D. It
It's
happens.
fine. I don't know how to talk to him about it, but
I mean, did he say like why? Like what? Just
well, he asked if Marleman ever showed signs of rampant, uncontrolled magic. And I said, "Have you met Marleman?"
well, fair.
That's when he mentioned that, and then that's when he mentioned the person who became ethereal. So I don't know how to bring it up to him. Like,
Okay.
I don't want to hide it from him, but I don't know how to approach it.
I mean, all right. So here's some of the things I'm thinking.
Mhm.
I mean, do you think that Marleman's not aware of this when it really comes down to it? Like, it might be that he's never directly thought about it.
I mean, maybe.
But I feel like when you have
Purposely hiding my face.
Oh, there you are.
I feel like when you have wild magic surges, he's almost died over very silly things like many times already.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
So I feel like he probably has some level of awareness of it. I don't know if a more serious conversation with him about it is currently necessary. He's already under a lot of stress with a lot of this stuff that's happening, and I wouldn't want to make it worse with something that I think part of him probably is aware of.
That's fair. I also just don't want him to drown himself anymore.
Yes, I mean that would be nice, but
Fat chance.
unfortunately, we have some enablers on our crew. I mean,
Maybe a thing to discuss when we're back in the material plane, at least. Or
yeah, maybe when we're back in the material plane. But I would also say, like, I wonder, I don't know. Like, if we were going to talk to him about it, like, I wouldn't approach it as like, hey, I heard that you die young frequently. Like, like I wouldn't.
yeah, you can see why I was like,
Yeah, like, that you're what? Like, it's not his race. It's his like. I don't know what the right word is.
Those imbued with the primal's power.
Yeah, like live short lives, I would
Yeah.
say, you know, I would bring it about as like just like concern about his wild magic in general,
Okay.
to try and make it a little less.
Yeah, but the minute you try to tell Merliman to not do anything, she's just gonna do it.
Yes, which is another reason why I
Yeah.
the thing is, like, is there anything he can do about it? You know, like,
Well, no, but maybe try to not prestidigitate all the time. Again, I'm aware.
A voice echoes from the distance. Yeah, right.
yeah.
So yeah,
Very spooky.
So-
Fuck off.
Yeah, I mean, it's an upsetting thing to hear. You know, like I'm not happy to hear it, and I'm sure that you were not happy to hear it when he said it.
no.
So I get being concerned, just like as a friend, because I'm, you know, because I also just worry, but
My
things.
my other issue, we haven't. I forget. We talked to Neve like once before she had to run off, right?
I don't.
Yeah,
know.
basically.
So my concern, because we don't know her very well, is what if the reason we can't communicate with Mac right now is because she's siphoned off some of his power to stay alive?
Why? Like, what reason do we have to think that?
Well, if people who are granted this power could potentially die young, I don't know if there's something that she did to make herself like he went and he mentioned something like she became ethereal somehow, and we don't know what process that was. But that's my only concern is like now I'm like
Yeah.
like I know we've been trying to where was the last DM? Where was our last location for Neve?
You guys last communicated with her like physically when you first arrived in the Feywild many moons ago now. Since then, she's been in and out, but she wasn't around for the attack on the Feywild. She wasn't around for your first return with Tiandra. She's been absent.
And Marleman, when he communicated with her, he didn't say where she was, or he couldn't tell.
I mean,
It was
Marleman, I assume, described it the same way he always describes it, which is the Midnight Beach.
so it's more like a mental link rather than a astral projection kind of thing, like
Hard
physically
to
seeing
figure
where
out.
they are. Yeah, okay. We don't know, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's just my own.
I know
concern
too.
right now.
Don't ask me. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a lot of this. Just it's the reason why I kind of was like, maybe we should do some research on this because if Marleman's connected to this somehow, and this potentially could, I'm just concerned about him.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't want to say anything in front of him because I didn't want him making fun of me. But,
So, as someone who actually knows Neve, how well do I know her?
Not very.
Okay.
She is one of the more cagey members of the court.
Okay.
if you were not here for this, I'm talking to her privately. So.
Oh, yes, I missed that part. Yes.
Yeah, that's obvious. Yeah. Fine.
That's why I was mentioning it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I understand the concern. I guess I would say, I don't know. I mean, Mac's always been hard to get a hold of. It's only recently that we've been even vaguely more consistently, I feel like, able to get a hold of him.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I could even see him just on a whim being like, God, they're calling too much, and like not.
It's Marleman's dad, sure. Yeah.
Christ, leave me alone.
Yeah, like it is a possibility.
This kid has been nothing but trouble. No, you take him this weekend.
So yeah, so I
wouldn't
needed somebody else to know just in case.
But I think it's interesting because you did also say that he mentioned Nave being ethereal after mentioning like you said what like wild magic surges being dangerous or something like that.
Yes, that was immediately.
Yeah,
he mentioned the short violent lives, he did mention one, a person of legend who was able to use their power to become ethereal. And based on deductive reasoning, pretty sure it's Neve.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, there's also a chance with that since we don't really know how. Like, and we don't really know a lot about Neve. Like, I wonder if she has wild magic surges as someone that's touched, and who knows? Wild magic surges do crazy shit.
Can it change your race?
Morgan's turned
Yes.
into a zombie.
The answer is yes, but
That was temporary.
But it was
don't worry.
He cured it, wasn't it?
No. My curing stuff didn't work. He turned back to normal after like a minute.
Maybe I don't
Yeah,
remember.
there are
Problem is
some
I can-
effects,
yeah.
that are temporary. There are others that are not.
That one was a very interesting.
Let's put it this way: Trev currently was the target of a wild magic surge somewhat recently, and forgot a language and gained a language.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Right.
So stuff can happen. Not saying that is what happened necessarily, but just saying there's a lot we don't know.
That's fair.
Her.
Okay.
But
Crap, I'm gonna have to type this out.
but yeah, so I don't know. It's definitely something that we can like keep in mind and keep an eye on. And if we see anything like particularly worrisome, maybe we can have a conversation with Marleman about what it could mean, at least with Nave and Mac. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't feel like it's keeping anything from him or lying to him or anything if you don't mention that part of the conversation where he said that
Okay.
thing
Yeah.
about the short
I
lives.
was kind of conflicted on it. I was just like, okay.
Yeah, like I wouldn't feel like you're doing something wrong by not like telling him that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So Jay, just to bring you up to speed on what Phaedra mentioned from her walking date with Glazriel. Basically, she pressed him on more information about the hunters and the primals. He gave her information. He didn't know who the hunters are directly, but he did accidentally let slip that it has been said the hunters ascended to godhood and scrubbed history of their presence. The exact wording is that. They then chatted about people who are touched, capital T, touched, which are the beings who have been granted via the primals with extraordinary amounts of magic. People like Marleman, you all assume.
He correctly guessed that Marleman was one of these people.
And I can't think of anything else major that you would need to know coming in.
Okay.
Just that he is very anxious for,
Oh, and I have the paper to communicate with.
Yes, the thing that Sai will probably actually be upset about.
That thing.
Phaedra purchased and handed the second copy of a scroll of message to Glazriel, which is any sentence or short paragraph that is written upon the scroll will appear on the other scroll. Across planes, there's a 2-hour time dilation.
Well, that's going to be useful.
That's not the reaction.
That's not the response I expected.
Well, listen, there's a couple thoughts going through my head.
Okay.
None of them would be helpful. Useful is the best word I could use.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that date because
It didn't happen here. It all happened off.
Yeah, this happened off camera. I gave him like my list of questions.
So not rated for this audience. Got it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm only referring to this as that now because of Craig. I will have you know.
Yeah, they pointed out to me that I basically gave him my number.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
Which
did drawings show up too?
Think about that before.
Do
do
drawings show up too on the paper?
Potentially.
Mhm.
Oh.
Hey, yo.
Rob Bell dick.
Unsolicited fantasy dick pics.
Would he just like lay it and then sketch around it? Or
Yeah, man. Fuck it.
Oh my god.
I
Why?
Sensation paper. You knew this would happen.
Oh yes, I should have known. I didn't, but I should have known.
The other thing of import is that he was aware of the prophecy,
Right. Yes.
and we are looking for people for the prophecy. One of them has been found, and him and the Rakshasa both have now mentioned that. So someone is keeping tabs on us.
One of them has been found.
Yeah, they only said that they knew that a girl was found. That's it. And I didn't say who it was.
Okay.
Didn't give any specifics.
So let's go back to this whole touched with a capital T.
Mhm.
So how exactly does one become touched by a primal?
I didn't ask.
Okay.
It just said like some people are
Are you still face palming off of tracing a dick on a piece of
Nope.
paper?
No, I am not.
Anyways,
didn't go into specifics with that. No.
but granted immense power, correct?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna presume that the people that we're looking for in the prophecy are all touched by the primals. Is that
But the
how true does that ring, DM?
well, because we tried to see if there was any connection between the stuff with the primals and the stuff with the prophecy, and there wasn't a lot of
That's fair.
that matched. But maybe. I mean, was Bonnie a magic user? I know she was.
No.
Yeah.
Bonnie was
She
in
was
no
a
way
cool
magic.
pirate.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
She was
So
an awesome fucking pirate.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Tiandra was a talented bard, but
yeah. So
Okay.
I mean, maybe they don't all like show magical powers.
it's an interesting thought, but you don't really have the information to go further on that.
Sure. It was just a theory.
This is also
Moving
the last full night's sleep you'll get before having to give Glasriel your answer. So if there's anything you'd like to do on your final night of, rest now, speak now, or forever
We
hold
pretty
your
much
peace.
decided that we're gonna work with this demon because we don't really have any other option,
Mm-hmm.
and so this is probably our best shot of getting out.
Okay.
Of the,
Yeah, we're gonna cause a mess with the boss and see where it goes from there.
Let it be known that no one trusts this guy, though.
Oh,
I mean,
God,
I can't speak for
no.
anyone, I guess, but I just did so.
Yeah,
Got
I
it.
mean, it's the other half of what we needed to do with the Rakshasa guy anyway. So
Right.
No, that I don't trust them either. But let's do what we need to get the hell out of here.
yeah.
Okay. And now would be the time, Jay, for you to give everyone their things.
Yes.
Um,
So we'll say that's where I've been all
I'll let
day.
you do that.
there is
Okay.
something that I'm going to do before we sleep, but it can be last.
Well,
So I know for some people this won't actually mean anything in their characters, just the way you build them. But did everyone pick which stat they want to go up by one?
Oh. Wait, which stat
I
does
feel
that
like I
mean?
did, but
Like our base stat?
yeah, your attributes.
One of the six.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I can pick.
All of mine are even right now.
Yeah. So yes.
No, wait.
For
Well,
some of you
strength's
this will matter. Some of you it won't. And again, it can exceed 20.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, strength is what I'm asking for, especially because it would make sense with what I asked for.
Yeah.
Cha.
Shaw.
Cha.
Yeah, come on.
I was like, I could just double down on my dex, but my dex is so stupid at this point right now anyway. But like,
I
no,
guess,
you actually
Max.
can't go above 20.
I can't go.
I
Yes,
guess
you can.
Yeah, you
dexterity.
can.
Yeah, you can.
I guess
Oh,
dexterity for me
stupid
is
guy.
my- I'm not very dexterous, so I guess dex for me.
Yeah.
So to explain, I have no problems with items bringing you above the attribute threshold. It's just leveling can't bring you above 20. That's all.
Oh.
We'll have to talk about where my stats came from. I think there's a way that I can make this happen.
Okay.
I want to get this.
So then, wait, I have a question then. If we do go
Yes.
above 20, what does that do for the
Goes to, if you get up to 22, it goes to, or if it go,
Yeah, if you get
Yeah, it goes to plus 6,
22,
that's
you're
all.
modest plus 6.
you have to get
Yeah.
to 22? So this thing is just going to add 1 point, though.
Yeah.
1 point.
All right.
Hmm.
Yeah. We'll have to find another way to
I
get
put
that
that.
last point.
Hmm.
I've picked.
Can I see mine?
Again, this wasn't an incredibly powerful thing. It was just something.
I mean, an ability score point is actually pretty fucking good.
Yeah, it's sick.
I'm trying to decide between Dex or Constitution because both could be good.
Can we do the scene where he gives the things and then let
Yeah.
him continue deciding
Yeah.
after?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm assuming you all have like been having these adventures and conversations while I've been just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'll walk in.
like doing research mostly up until my conversation.
All right. So when we all are all in the same room together, which probably happens a couple times a day,
Yep.
I'll come in with a big wooden box that seems pretty heavy, and just kind of set it down in like a central location, and say, "All right, everybody, can y'all just like gather around, please?" No, this
Stay
is
a
gonna be
while.
awkward for
Listen.
everyone, so we'll just get
Great.
through this.
Okay.
Like, kind of feel like Santa Claus here, but.
Yeah.
Could I have helped him if I wasn't doing anything other specific? Could I have gone in and helped him for like a day?
In theory.
Okay.
Well, you were on a date, though.
That was one day. We had a week.
No denial of the date.
Doesn't matter. You don't want to admit to it.
I mean, as long as I'm not interrupting anything.
Oh,
All right. So
right.
Phaedra's carrying my
So
box.
the Genasi that we rescued from the Beholder has been telling everyone in the fire plane that we rescued him. So, yay!
Okay.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
sure that'll come around at some point.
Probably. Yeah.
Number 1 in Firetown.
He's in the city of Dis. Last I
Yes,
checked.
yes, he is in this.
This. Okay. Anyways,
So, yeah.
so everybody,
This is fire, dude.
so I have something
I'll-
for you all.
I'll step forward first then.
Okay.
For me.
So
Good fucking knighting ceremony.
No.
Has he told
Yeah.
anyone to step forward, Phaedra? Like,
No, I
One at a time. He was handing them out. I was going to get them.
do you have
Yeah.
I didn't hear him say that specifically.
Anyway,
so,
let's just get through this.
fucking incredible.
all right, so
I was trying to make it less awkward. Sorry.
Nice
nope.
job.
Crushed it.
I love you so much.
Oh man. Like I said, there's no way in hell this is never going to not be awkward. So let's
Yep.
let's go.
Fine. It's fine.
One thing I will ask, Phaedra, do you still have the picture of all the things that you drew? The symbol.
Yeah, I do.
Can you send it to the tavern chat, please?
Sure.
Oh, you did that in character voice. So I was really confused.
Oh yeah, sorry. I said
I have
Phaedra
to-
instead of Heather. Yeah.
I have to change some of it because like Craig requested something slightly different. So
Yeah, but I remember his. It's the others I don't remember.
okay. Cool.
Okay.
1 second. Let me. Oh, jeez, how long ago was? Oh wait, I have my notebook right here. Just give me a second.
I Phaedra just shuffling around papers while I'm standing there.
Fuck is going on?
God.
Crushed it.
So fuck it, I'll do Trev's first.
Thank
All
you.
right. So I'll open the box and I'll be like, Trev, come on. I know we haven't had the best interactions, or the first time I met you, I tried to kill you.
Whatever.
And I'm sure I've threatened it multiple times since then.
We're fine.
So, but I know that we're fighting for the same thing.
Absolutely.
So I want you to have this. And so I hand him was essentially a half gauntlet, kind of like a hand wrap that has on it a diamond, just like the one on his hand, but a sword striking through it and breaking it. And it
Hell yeah.
sits perfectly over the diamond on his hand. It is made of platinum.
I assume that's Heather. What the f-
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Please
No.
mute your microphone so you rummage more.
Sorry.
It is
It's very disruptive.
That's a beautiful moment.
Sorry.
It's a beautiful moment.
anyway, so yeah, I want to try the thing on,
Yeah.
and then like it feels good, all that stuff, and then just like fist bump with it, and thank him for it. Thanks a lot, man. That's really nice. And
Oh.
I love what you did with this.
Yeah. Well,
Get out of the way because I'm awkward.
hell. All right. Help me out with this, Phaedra. I know mine are no traps. I don't know any of the others.
The other ones are in the chat now.
Yeah, I put them in the chat.
Well, I mean, there's pictures of them. There's not like labels. And I forget. I know
so-
Marleman's.
Marleman's was the music notes made of water.
Right. Animals of the tree.
It's
Yours
the tree
is the
starting to
quill.
turn into an animal at the bottom,
Right.
like the roots.
Right.
Mine was an ink quill feather with fire around it. Nyx's was her dagger with the snakes.
Okay.
Um,
So,
Yeah.
I go to.
On mine, could I have? I like the dagger, but can I have it like going through the? I don't know what it's called, but like the arch of like a lock.
oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. I
That's
can do
sick.
that.
So,
Big fan.
No, not
Next-
a big fan. A lock.
you wear a cloak, right? Or a
Who?
cape? You.
Yeah, I wear a cloak.
Okay. So I pull yours out next, and it is actually like a clasp shaped in a lock with a dagger going through it. And so I hand it to you and I say, I know you have reasons not to trust me, but I do respect you greatly, and I want us to work together. And I hope in the future that we can cause some trouble together.
Word.
Well, I think we've caused a lot of trouble together already, but
Absolutely.
Word.
Just don't stab me with this one. Look away.
Single
No
tear.
promises.
I swear those racks.
As Nyx is clipping this beautiful, beautiful clasp under her cloak. It was an accident, I swear.
I also pull out a little treat and give it to Pip.
Thank you. Pip says thank you. And I say thank you.
I
Oh,
tried incorporating him into the motif, but I'm bad at drawing animals. So.
It's okay. Speaking of animals,
you're a party animal. Mom.
I was about to say,
Marlon,
trunks.
Where you at? Yeah.
so, I turn to Aramel and I go,
He says, speaking of animals, I totally,
yeah, of course.
like monkey probably, and like, woo, and then I just poof back,
It's a beautiful, beautiful moment.
As long as he's not throwing footprints again.
What's up, homie?
I listen. It's a possibility. I'm just saying. So I'll actually turn to Aramel and be like, so I wanted something that kind of is you. So trees and animals.
Word.
You are one of the most pure beings I've ever met in my life.
Aw.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing.
Yeah, good and bad.
It's
But-
fairly neutral.
You are always who you are, but you're always very loud about who you are.
Oh, thanks, Doug.
And so I give him a rather large chain with a huge like tree turning into a dinosaur because I know he loves dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like
Man.
I'm talking like Public Enemy, like huge, like
Yeah.
like it is big, it is loud, it is obnoxious, and I love
Hell
it.
yeah. I'm going to give Sai a hug, like
Okay.
Sure, man.
incredibly forcefully.
Okay.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, anytime, man.
Just a little bit too
I'll be
uncomfortable.
like, dude, we blaze sometime as payback.
Yeah, absolutely.
Payback.
Absolutely.
Wrong word.
As love reasons.
Mm,
All right. I turn to Marleman, and I'm just like, you.
Me.
The only person who I think would make this more awkward than me.
I only know one way, and it's to make everybody feel happy about
love it.
themselves because I'm the awkward one in the room.
So I know that you're.
And Marleman burst into flint. No,
So I know that you're training to be a bard.
yeah,
From Perrin.
yeah.
And I know it's close to your heart.
It is.
And I want you wear a medallion of the instrument on your neck, correct?
It's and I take it out and I show him. It's a medallion, but I don't remember what it looks like, Gary.
It's a small silver
I have it written, I'm sure.
metal of a pan flute.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right.
But it's not necessarily that.
Well, it can change, right?
It can become many instruments.
The
Right.
ever-changing instrument.
I pull the essence of other instruments out of it.
It is called the ever-changing instrument.
Oh, that's its actual name.
Yes.
Yes, and Marleman pulls his arm out and pulls out a French horn.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Shoves it back.
Oh, boy.
I think we've never really talked about that, how that works, but I think what it does is it kind of like, you ever see how like in Ghostbusters they have the trap, and when they're sucking the ghost into it or stuff gets let out, it kind of like stretches a little bit, like as it's being pulled in.
Yeah,
I feel like that's kind of how it looks like. I feel like matter of the matter that is the instrument is kind of like dissolving into this just like stretchy bit that kind of just gets sucked right back into it, and then like I imagine there's like a little bit on the pan flute that kind of like closes up on it, so
Yeah.
that in it. I don't know. That's the way
I like that visualization. We'll go with
That
that.
is wild.
Yeah, it's a cool thing.
Okay. How often have I seen Marleman use something guitar shaped or string shaped?
Fairly
Often
often. Yeah.
Okay.
So for the record, I'll share the chart later, but
Yeah.
of 20, 13 of which are string instruments.
Jesus. Okay.
So
So
you
this will work.
play many string instruments. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I give you a ring that you wear on the inside to when you're playing a string instrument, it's on the upper hand. to
Yeah.
bar it up, and it has music notes, but they're flowing and they look
Cool.
almost liquid, and they're awesomely designed by Phaedra.
I love it. I gotta look at a picture.
And I turn last to Phaedra.
Oh yeah, these. That's right. Yeah, this was cool.
I'd be like, we haven't ever really gotten to talk much.
Well, you taught me Sylvan for a bit, and then I forgot about it.
Yeah, we should pick that up. But I feel like there's a lot of things that we should talk about because I'm sure we have more in common than we think. But I value your intelligence, and I want to emphasize that. And I pull out essentially what looks like a fine metal chain with a emblem in the middle with the quill and it sits 1 point on each horn, and then
Yeah,
it rests right on her forehead like a
it's cool.
piece of jewelry there.
Yeah, heck yeah, this is awesome. Thank you.
Of course, welcome.
Jade Horn Jewelry.
I did.
So,
think.
just from the DM side of things on these items, they all raise whichever chosen attribute point by 1, and they are not attuned.
Yay.
Yeah.
The items that do not require attunement.
Yes, that was.
Do you have a name for these creations? Because for right now, it's going to be musical ring aside aside keepsake.
That's perfect. No.
I have a couple that I'm working on, but not individual names, but
Yeah.
a group name. Yeah, and I'll get back to you on that because I have an idea. I just want to make sure that we live through today.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're starting up some branding, we're going to open up Valancourt's valuables. It's going to
Yeah,
Start an Etsy.
perfect.
be fantasy
I'm
Etsy.
very marketable.
Fuck.
I wish there was like this thing you could like put into a database and it would just come up with all million different things that you could buy and have delivered directly to you. It'd be perfect.
Yeah, that'd be a really cool thing.
Yeah.
Should
And
think
then we could never mind. That's not.
of that.
How far are we gonna go with this?
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm sure Balthazar will really love that.
Listen.
So this very touching and beautiful scene
Oh, yeah.
passes. Trev, what do you want to do before you went to bed?
Well, first thing I'm going to do is actually make those potions that you gave me the that I bought the ingredients for, just because
Word.
I would like to do that.
Yep.
You already told me how many it would make. I just should
Yep.
actually do it.
Yep, you do that. You do that.
That'd be a crappy thing to forget. And the last thing that Trev would like to do before he goes to sleep, and this is going to be one of those alone in his room kind of things.
You are sharing a room, I assume, with Marleman, but
That's fine. He wouldn't stop me from doing this. Basically, anybody else would.
Hey man, I got
It
the
is
back.
a bad
What are you gonna do? I'll help you.
No.
He'll.
I got this jug of water.
I feel like Caramel would also.
Yeah. Hey man, if I help you with this, you want to help me drown later?
He's been. I mean, this isn't even like a help thing.
Oh, I guess.
Like he's just been thinking about this a lot,
Yeah.
honestly, and he wants to before it gets real. He assumes that I assume his sword is leaning up against the wall or something.
Yeah, you haven't put it back in the bag.
Yeah, he hasn't turned that thing on in a long time.
Mhm.
And it's been bothering him for quite a bit of time about what the deal is. He's been kicking all the stuff that he learned about it back around in his head. He wants to use this thing once just to see what, I don't know, there's something about it that's drawing him to try this because kind of he's telling himself that he wants to see if covering up the thing on his hand is going to have any effect on it.
Okay.
But I'm sure there's more to it than that. Again, this could be nothing. He just wants to do that.
Yeah.
He's just going to have it just sort of in the bedroom or whatever, and just sort of do the.
Yep. What element are you writing?
That's a good question. I forget what he can even do.
I believe you have.
I think it would just do
three-
fire, just because. Oh yeah, he has psychic, which is sick.
I was
Did
about to
he
say
have
you have
gonna
the three.
do-
You have the three primal rights and one esoteric.
That is correct. I think he would just do cold because he thinks the color is cool.
Okay. You run your hand along the blade as you used to a motion that is so familiar to you, but for once it feels alien. And as you watch the kind of spreading glow of blue ice energy light along the blood from your hand, you look and you see that the purple glow that comes from the diamond is still there. But the gauntlet that you're wearing has caused the diamond to shine through, but only illuminating the sword itself. The diamond stays dull. So while, yes, that power is still coming from somewhere, when you look at your hand, you don't see a glowing diamond. You simply see a sword breaking through and refusing to accept it.
That's all I want. Then he'll just shake it off, turn it off, and
Okay.
just feel a little bit more ready for all this stuff.
Okay. You all head to bed. Or those of you that sleep, you sleep. For those of you who fall into reveille, you reveille. That's the word for elven sleep.
I thought it was just reverie.
Like a meditative state.
I always thought it was reveille. I'm not sure if it's reverie or reveille. It's
wanna go
one of those
vacation next
weird
month.
ones. Either I prefer Revier because it sounds more elven than just either way.
Yeah.
And let's say Armel.
Yeah.
You're the first one to wake up the following morning.
Yeah.
You awaken in the room, or you come back to consciousness in the room that you share with Sai, and walk out. And sitting on the golden couch is Glosriel, peeling a dried apple with one of his nails. He looks up at you as you enter and says, "Good morning, my druidic friend.
What's up, homie? How you doing?"
Very excited to hear more about what you all have to say." He flips you the dried apple.
Yeah, I'm just gonna actually go sit down and start eating and not really say anything to him.
Okay.
I'm just like act like nothing is going on, you know?
Okay. He pulls another one out from his cloak and starts peeling that one as well before taking a bite. The silence kind of persists for a good minute or so. Both of you just
after like an awkward amount of silence, I'll say, "So, my friend Phaedra, you better treat her right."
Oh my god.
He looks at you with
Good.
a look you didn't know you could get from a demon. His black and purple eyes catch yours with a look of confusion, mild embarrassment, but an overwhelming look of, wait, did she say anything? As he responds, I can't say I know what you're talking about, Armel.
Yeah, sure. You know how strong we are, dog. Watch yourself.
And just for the record, when Marlon said this, like, if Nyx was, I assume Nyx was like sitting somewhere in the room, there was like a resounding like thwack noise, like,
As in,
Plate drops to the floor.
yeah, like Nyx, you were, let's say, stealth somewhere in the room, just sort of observing the demon lord, and this causes you to need to break stealth immediately.
yeah.
I assume I'm not in the room yet.
No,
I'm just like doing this, like,
Yeah.
he's like just not making eye contact, just like, I don't know what's happening here. What am I getting myself into? He does offer you another dried apple from inside of his cloak. And after
Come out.
25-30 minutes, you all awaken and join Aramil. Marleman is the last one to awake. That's why it takes 25 minutes. The rest of you were there like within 5 to 10 minutes of Aramil saying this dumb shit, but Marleman took some time. He had a point of exhaustion to get through.
Fair enough.
right?
And so, you know, within time, you all are gathered in the living room, or the living area, trunks included.
Does he looks awkward still when I come out?
No, he's back to his like relatively confident, kind of composed
Okay.
self. I don't even know, man. We have 100% hit that like D&D meme of, I see that villain you have there, would be a shame if I flirted with it or seduced it.
The thing is, Phaedra actually has like not really confirmed like flirting with him, but
No.
we decided that she flirted with him.
No, like there was, Heather, I don't know how much of this you want me to say, but there was mild banter, but not like romantic or flirty.
We just headcanon the shit out of this.
Everyone just assumes that's what's happening, and she knows she's not going to fight it because it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. I am vamping for Morgan to get back because I don't know when he's going to return. But either way, you all gather in and have a seat, and there he is. And once you all are kind of settled, and he's laid out a meal of dried fruits that he has brought in, he sort of looks over all of you and says, "So, today's the day.
Mm-hmm.
Have you all settled?"
I believe we have, yes.
Interesting word
Made a
choice.
decision. I assume that's what he meant.
Where'd you get these fruits?
About as ready as we can get.
I have access to many stores here in the Citadel. So, am I understanding correctly that you will do your part in taking down Demogorgon?
Only if you do.
Will we kill a bunch of demons for you and put our asses on the line? Sure.
I mean, the hope is that you won't have to kill a bunch of demons. I will take care of the bunch. You will take care of the one.
I'm not wholly convinced, but
Yeah.
I like to take chances.
Couple of,
Some of my other compatriots, but I do.
couple of stipulations.
I assume so. And he kind of leans back and
Any known weaknesses we're to be made aware of. Any potential traps, anything that you can give us ahead of time to know about with the fight with Demogorgon.
aim for the heads, don't miss, and don't stand in his eyesight for very long.
Fair enough.
Sorry, did you say heads?
Mm-hmm.
He looks at you and nods.
We've seen what he looks like, right?
No. No.
Um,
Oh, his
there's,
seat was
you know,
empty.
yes, the throne was empty when you all looked. And when he came out on his giant palanquin, he had kept all the curtains drawn. But some of you, Sai, Phaedra, probably Trev, have at least an idea of what Demogorgon looks like, or at least what he is rumored to look like.
Big, ugly, mean.
Yeah.
Many heads.
Multiple heads. 2 heads?
I mean, that's
another
what they say.
another stipulation. Once we leave and close the portal, we don't want any more portals opening.
That is entirely fair. I have absolutely no interest in the prime material plane at the moment.
And the last one, at least I want to mention, is not summoning us back here to try and help you with any. Once we're gone, you have your kingdom. That's up to you. We don't want to have to. We do not want to be brought here for this kind of occasion again.
You don't want to be demonic enforcers for a new ruler?
No.
Feel free to send dudes, though.
Oh my god.
Very well, I will accept that. And he sticks out a hand to... I was pretending that Armel did not say that.
No,
Or he just straight up ignores them.
No.
pretend did not say
I
Yeah.
assume he has said it, so I kind of like
no,
to.
it's more Glasriel is pretending that Aramil did not say that.
Okay. I'm gonna like quickly glance to everyone else and get like a nod before I shake his hand.
Okay. You shake. He nods. Says, after today, our contract is done. Any communication between us will be purely informational. And I suppose my side of this bargain is if any changes or any plans to go into the prime material plane, you will be warned and informed before they happen.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I have scheduled you all for time in the arena within the hour. Once you arrive, please declare your opponent. Our Lord Demogorgon will be forced to oblige a champion's challenge, and I will make my move behind the scenes.
Not to ask like a silly question, but what rule forces Demogorgon to accept our challenge, and isn't the fact that Demogorgon is in charge, wouldn't they be able to
ask this question.
change that rule if they wanted to?
If there's one thing about the demon god of madness that has been true forever, is that he likes to show his force of rule. Every so often you need to be able to step out and show why you're the top of the food chain. So you all right now are the next level down. So he tends to take these sorts of challenges.
This is
long
Heather
do you
asking. Trunks is with us, correct?
Yes, he is.
Okay, double checking.
And he is salivating at this idea.
Okay, thank you.
How long do you need?
A minute and a half, 2 minutes.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, that's gonna be a long 2 minutes,
Yeah,
man.
that's a long
It
time.
is. We'll do what we can.
I'll get
And I will
correct.
inform all of you once the deed is done. You'll know.
It is. Let's say it's going to be an interesting change, and like this is actually mostly towards the rest of the party. It's going to be interesting change of pace for us. Fighting something to not die rather than fighting something to kill the shit out of it.
Hmm.
Marleman looks directly at Trev and says, "That's been my secret all along. Trying not to die."
Yeah, bro, you haven't seen what it's like in the back line.
Godfrey actually looks directly in your eyes, Trev. And this is the first time that he has looked someone in the eye who is not Phaedra. As he...
Given my my conceptions in the past, do I now think he's coming on to me?
Man, that one insight.
I was gonna say,
horny.
if I recall properly, that was how this fucking
Yes,
started.
no, I remember. I know why.
It was me thinking that.
Yeah. I remember your one insight roll, my friend. Don't worry. He looks you dead in the eye, and I will say with a one insight from a week ago, you get a brief, like, flutter.
I just want to be like, sorry.
Yeah, but then, like, it's quickly squashed down by, like, no, he's all in on Phaedra. Come on.
Yeah.
As he looks you in the eye and says, I have complete faith in your ability to not die and perhaps even kill the shit out of something.
That makes maybe one of us. All right, let's go.
He stands up, takes a bow, and departs the chamber.
Good luck.
Be careful.
Nah.
About a half hour later, you hear a knock on the golden door, revealing the tall, as he looks over all of you and says, yes, I hear you have a champion's challenge you would like to take today.
That is
Oh,
correct.
Wonderful. Please follow me. The arena has been fully prepared for you. He sort of gestures behind him with his long fingers, and you all head out up the stairs to a waiting elevator, essentially. You're taken down to the base of the citadel. And as you're just reaching the bottom, he kind of looks over all of you and says, I can only imagine the sort of thing that you, our champions, would be challenging for. I hope that it is bloody and beautiful.
I'm just trying to hold back laughter. I'm like, oh god.
It's gonna be something, buddy.
Okay, yeah.
I thought y'all were horny, but
Wrong plane of the abyss. This
turns
is not
out
the
this guy is horny.
I hate it.
The doors slide open and you guys walk down a dark hallway. I'm going to pause here and have an outside the DM moment and say I was fucking certain that Trev was about to dig a sword into the handler finally.
Maybe later.
And as you guys reach the roar of the crowd hits you first before the light even does, of a citadel full of demons who have heard that a champion's challenge is coming through, which usually promises some level of bloodshed, usually for the champions themselves. Champions don't tend to last long here in the citadel.
Champions don't tend to try and get squash matches going.
Yeah.
We
Usually
demand local talent.
Yeah, enhancement talent, please. They sent like a dog, just like one dog.
Oh, that would be.
But as you step out in the heat and the red light and the roar of the crowd hits you, you get swept up in it for a second. Kind of this, not bloodlust and rage, but for once these these demons are cheering for you. They're cheering.
Demons are people too, man.
They certainly are. And they're not all demons. There are some travelers from other planes and whatnot. RML, with your very sharp eyes, you do actually, scanning the crowd for a second, catch the faintest glimpse of a familiar-looking tabaxi face as they go out the
Oh,
crowd.
kitty.
Does Aramil just do exactly
Fuck.
Matt Riddle's wrestling entrance?
Yeah, basically. um,
Just
I don't know
curious.
what that is.
yeah. Oh, we'll send you a link. Don't worry.
I trust Trev though.
I mean,
And suddenly there is this rhythmic boom as the crowd kind of quiets down as a gong somewhere deep in the city is hit. And you hear a voice come over, the voice of the handler again, that says, "Our champions of the arena have requested a champion's challenge." There's a huge roar behind that. "Champions, please name your honored opponent."
Look back and forth at everybody to see.
Can I say it? Can I say it? Can I say it? Can I say it?
No, don't let Marlon say it. I don't know how,
Heather, you're muted.
but
yeah.
I put my hand over Marlon's mouth. Just
Okay.
All right. If I see
All
that
right.
struggling is happening, and then it's gonna have to be either I look at sides and be like, it's gonna be either one of us.
I'll step forward and
Okay.
I'll say the champions demand combat with Lord Demogorgon.
There is a hush
Just
for a second, and then this huge roar of approval, because now you can tell immediately this crowd has turned against you. Like, it
Sure.
was originally like, all right, some like excitement, champion blood, like we'll see what happens, and now it's like, oh, we get to watch a squash match in the other way. And it's also rare that, you know, the Lord Demogorgon is seen, so there's this sudden excitement in the crowd that, okay, will the Lord himself reveal? And after a couple, like 20, 30 seconds of sustained, you know, kind of crowd roar, they are silenced by this thunderous boom, boom, boom.
Oh my God, the Undertaker!
And then from,
This is why
and then
I
from
like-
above, you hear this deep, guttural voice that doesn't sound, but it sounds only in your heads, in every head, as a voice says, "Then you shall have it." And you watch from above the throne a visage appear, a furred yellow head. It's then joined by a second furred and yellow head as the shoulder kind of rolls through. And then you see these long tentacled arms come reaching out through the sides around the throne, and a being leap from behind the throne and down into the pit before you. It stands... Hang on, I have to get the exact size. Where are you? It stands slightly shorter than the Balor, but not significantly so. Its long tentacled limbs drag against the ground as its bipedal form kind of holds itself up. Its long prehensile tail whips along the ground, and both heads are just focused fully on the seven of you before it, as it sort of growls again. And you can see, probably, you know, besides the fact that this is a gigantic yellow furred demon that just radiates evil and madness and chaos, that in between the two heads is a split. It almost looks as if these two heads have grown out of one of what used to be one. Like something cleaved it and then it became two, maybe millennia ago. But now this being just looks upon all of you with that same low guttural tone, goes, "The champions shall be sated." Everyone roll initiative.
Okay. So I wanted to summon one of my assistants. At what point would I have been able to do that?
You stepped through the magical barrier that prevents magic, and then pretty quickly started this
Okay.
kind of thing. I will say you have about 20 seconds of channel already done if you want it, but you still have a while.
No, that wouldn't be worth it. I figured we'd have done it while like the crowd was like going crazy or something. I figured that was
It
long.
all accelerated pretty quickly.
Never mind. All right.
And I did put a picture of this thing in the chat for those of you who do not know what Demogorgon looks like.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
be shitting me.
My only question, this would have been a previous thing.
Mhm.
I was keeping Plane Shift as my level 7 spell. Was that something you guys wanted me to keep, or would you prefer another healing spell? Because I would have been able to the night before change that out.
I believe
We're not going to need something to send us back, theoretically.
That's why, like, Plane Shift was in case the portal breaks down and we get stuck here.
Yeah.
Like if Rakshasa Man tricks us.
If we had this discussion, then theoretically we would be able to sleep on it.
Yeah. That's why I was just asking, because like I have Resurrection as. Oh wait, that takes an hour. Never mind. Where are you? Regenerate. So that's why I wasn't sure if I should have Regenerate or Plane Shift.
I mean, if we had this conversation and Nick made the comment that we probably don't need it, then I'd agree with that.
Yeah, that happens.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, just because I didn't want to like stop and like let me fix my spells.
Yeah. All right.
You want to bring the healing juice? Go
All right, I'll put Regenerate on there just in case.
Yes. I think only. Marlon, have you taken a look at what this thing looks like?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Want to make sure you've all seen it, so you know
Not-
what we're doing with here.
Friendly.
Oh, very not. So 25 to 20.
23.
Oosh. Did you roll did you roll natural?
No, I rolled 18. My initiative is +5.
Jeez.
She's extremely
Rogues, man.
dexterous, Lo.
Fuck this guy.
19 to 15.
17.
17 for Trev. Marlon.
Actually, now that I look at it, I got a 20 because I rolled a 17. I thought mine was a +1. I was wrong.
Okay. 15 to 10.
10 as well.
So Arnold goes first with the higher dex. Oh, Sai, buddy, where are you?
Nat 1.
Oh,
no!
too busy.
Yeah,
I
Fire.
don't want to summon the thing. Yeah, that's
Those
time.
nat ones out
Yeah,
the way
no
now.
shit.
Yeah, roll those nat ones now. So this hulking demon lord is now before you. It's full splendor
Sure.
on
That's a
bear. Nyx, you are up first.
Okay, are we starting this tonight?
Yeah, like, should we? Because it's late.
I will let you guys decide that.
So what would the stopping point be otherwise? Like, are you into
Just when we go, okay, let's pause here and come
I
back.
feel
That's
like,
all.
honestly,
Then why don't
it would be best to not start a fight and then have to spend X amount of time remembering where we are at.
Right.
Yeah, so if
Got
we
it.
have our initiative locked in, let's
Yep.
yeah.
That works
Well,
totally
that's
fine for me.
The best combat starting point is the beginning, because
Yeah.
combat stops are a real pain.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Sounds good.
Gives me a chance to look through my spells and make sure.
Yeah, and we get to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, any of you who have a combat speed that isn't a very one note have an opportunity to think about your plans.
I am.
I'm not so lucky.
Trev and I know what we're doing.
Thinking about that new spell. I had one of my new spells, Gary.
Okay, I'm going to end the broadcast here.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a second. All right, so night, everyone.
Good night.